Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1988 Remastered Leonardo figure from Playmates. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks decent. Definitely better than I thought it would, and part of that was as the pictures were coming out when this kind of got leaked and then finally revealed is the skin texture in particular, which I still think is completely extraneous, just doesn't need to be there. I'm not sure why they made that decision. I thought this was really going to kind of activate my trypophobia, but it's not that bad. Again, it's still I don't know why they did that. It just doesn't need to be there, and it doesn't look great. I don't think it adds, certainly. But, you know, again, not as bad as I had feared. Everything else, though, the sculpt looks really good. Proportions are nice. I do have, not the original, but this is one of the kind of reissues they've done over the years of the original line. So you can see them next to each other. So skin's a little bit darker. I think, again, this might be a little bit lighter than the original, it being a reissue. So there's that. The blue is very, very nice. Definitely pops. We do get the yellow, I think, for the front of the shell's pretty much what it should be. Back of the shell, again, where it's a matte finish, is going to look different. I do kind of like the shiny shells a little bit better from the originals. And then we get the belt, which looks almost exactly the same, which is really, really nice. And yeah, the other thing you'll notice, I guess, here is that the face sculpt is different. The expression is different. And I don't have Donatello, but Donatello apparently has Leonardo's face and vice versa. So that's strange. Again, weird decisions all around. You know, it could be far, far worse. It could be a lot better. I think a lot of us were hoping for a little bit more. But you know, overall, like I'm definitely happy I got it. It's a very interesting little, like, odd piece, and I think that's kind of where I'll leave it. It's a very interesting looking piece. We actually get a good amount of accessories here. Not only that, especially at the price point of $12 for these, like, that's a good assortment. So kudos to Playmates for that. And yeah, so jumping into it, so we'll start with weapons, and we do get these two. So we get this longer dagger with the kind of extended handle, and then the shorter dagger, both of which are updates of what came with the original figure. I do not know the name of either of these weapons, so if you do know, please let me know in the comments. Just, you know, obviously silver, not brown, and with some extra paint, which is kind of a cool touch. So like that, we do get a pair of ninja stars. Obviously, they came with the original figure as well. These are a little bit weightier and silver. And then, of course, we get his signature katanas. And nice. I really like the way these look. I do have to heat this one up to kind of straighten that out a little bit. But, you know, again, nice thick plastic. And I like the kind of sculpt of them overall. Basic enough, but definitely just a little bit punched up. And we get some blue handles going on here. Then we get the really interesting choice. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I don't know where this came from. I know we make a lot of jokes about boardrooms in the 80s and people being coked up, but this feels like one of those choices. It just, this has, as far as I know, this has no connection to any turtle incarnation. If it does, please let me know. I completely missed it. It's a really cool sculpt. They got some, like, you know, nice, like, border work going on here. They got the bolts. They got the two handles painted blue. Like, you know, cool idea. It just seems very out of place, I guess. And then we get finally the base, and you can see they all come with their own base. I think they're slightly different. Nice paintwork going on here. Like, so you get the texture. We got the wires painted very nicely. You got a random piece of pizza. Got some, what I assume is ooze. Like, really like that kind of copper look to this little piece right here. And then of course we get the wall, and there's some holes. And speaking of those holes, we do get a little like TV antenna sort of thing that just kind of plugs into one of those. And then you get this window, silver with, you know, that kind of baby blue look, and nothing else to that. It just kind of sits wherever you put it on the stand. So that will do it for accessories. Articulation, balance here are interesting, and actually I'll say balance isn't interesting, it's just there. It's good, you know, as you can see, very solid base, freestanding kicks, no problem. The actual articulation is some confusing choices. And, we'll get into that. Oh, there's definitely some things that just don't feel natural here, mostly in the legs. So for our head, we are on a ball joint, and this is actually not too bad. Like, we get some really nice up. We don't really get any down, we're running into the body. We do get a little bit of tilt, and of course we get rotation. Then we get hinge and a sort of hinge and swivel at the shoulders. You can see we come up into a T. You do see those pegs as you do with the legs. Then we get single jointed elbows, which aren't going to bring us to 90, and that's fine. Again, kind of the form factor. We get rotation there. For the wrists, just rotation. They're just swivels. Nothing in the diaphragm, but most turtles don't. Even when they do, they don't really do anything, so that's fine. Then we get to the hips, and this is weird. So as you can see, there's a hinge. So and kick forward, kind of. Obviously, you're not going to get 90. You're going to run into it. But if you want to kick out to the side, you've got to like move the leg out and then move at the knee. And that just feels weird. Like I want to be able to like check splits here, but can't do that. Obviously there are none unless you rotate out, in which case you get tons of splits. So that's kind of cool. Like that works for a kind of like double kick sort of pose. That's cool. We do get rotation there because it's a pin going up into the body. Get at the focus. There we go. We got a single jointed knee, which brings us almost a 90, like not bad at all. We do get rotation there as well. And then the feet are just swivel, and that's weird, but it does allow to get some balance and kind of work with positions, but very, very strange choices that work, but feel like they're kind of falling short of what they should be. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other Turtles lines. With some domestics. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valorous Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1988 Remastered Leonardo figure from Playmates is that this is a figure. I gotta be honest, I'm actually relatively ambivalent towards the whole thing. You know, it's obviously not the worst thing in the world. There's some really good stuff here. It's a really solid, like overall silhouette. The figure feels solid just in general, especially with the accessories and stuff like that. You do get a lot of accessories. You know, it's a really cool attempt. I just think like overall, in terms of, you know, the modernization of that original 1988 line, I don't think you can do better than the Super 7 Ultimates at this point. Just that I think they nailed it. And here, there definitely feels like there's some things that were done just to do them, kind of like the skin texture. And there's some stuff that feels like they just kind of went halfway with because they didn't know whether they wanted to make this a kids line or a adult collector line. They kind of wanted to skirt the middle of that, and yeah, I think that's where we get the approach to the articulation. So it's a really interesting piece overall. Again, I'm happy I have it, but you know, I'm not compelled to get the rest of the Turtles. Like I am a Leonardo collector, so yeah, for me this is good, but it's not going to sit at the top of any lists. I think it's a really interesting piece in Turtles history at this point. And yeah, so really in terms of recommendations, I would say certainly if you're a hardcore TMNT collector, if there is a particular turtle that you just collect everything for or near everything, then definitely pick it up. But overall, I think it's going to be an easy miss for a lot of people. It's just a really weird piece. Again, I don't really know exactly what to say. Like, not just like I fully recommend this. I fully don't. This is really, I'm so middle of the road with this, and I was not expecting that. So take that as you will, and I hope that helped. So saying that, I do hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if you did, hope to see you back, because I do lots of reviews all week, at least 5 days a week like this. So if this sort of thing appeals to you, please come on back and let's just escape the world and talk about some nice plastic. But really at the end of the day, I just hope that you're well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true, and most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.